Hi everyone, today's video is a bit unusual. It's kind of a review of a power bank, but it's also a review of itruemart.ph. Now somebody came to my channel and started spamming my comment section saying, come to itruemart, buy stuff, get discounts, blah blah blah. And I don't know if it was them or if it's a seller on their site. I don't really know exactly how their site works, but I reached out to them and said, do you want to work on a video together? And then I thought, you know what, actually it's better if I try out their service without working with them, because if I work with them, maybe, you know, they might make sure the experience is a little bit better. So I thought I'll do it blind so they don't really know who I am, so I get the same service as everyone else. So I ordered a power bank and I thought, okay, I'll turn this into a two-in-one. I can review the power bank and I can review their service. Now you may not have heard of itruemart, and I hadn't until like a few days ago. Apparently they're very big in Thailand and they just launched here I think in November 2015. So they're really giving big discounts on prices at the moment and giving good coupons or voucher codes, because of course they want to try and take customers away from Lazada, Insogo and other local companies. So if you're looking for a good deal, I have to give them credit. Their prices are pretty good at the moment and the vouchers do make them very competitive, up to 20% off, so pretty reasonable. So anyway, I ordered this on their website on Tuesday morning and I selected cash on delivery because they don't accept credit cards or PayPal, which is kind of annoying. What they do accept is online payment through your bank, but then you have to go through the enrollment process and it's kind of a hassle. And although the site says you can do over-the-counter payment like in say 7-Eleven or something, it wasn't enabled. I don't know if that's just for this device or if it's for everything, but basically it wasn't available. So the only option I had was to do online banking, which was just too much hassle and effort, or cash on delivery. So I thought, okay, apparently like according to Lazada stats, most of the customers are paying cash on delivery, so I'll try cash on delivery with this one. Now the site said I would receive a phone call to confirm my order. I didn't get any phone call, but I did get an email on Wednesday night saying that my order had been dispatched, and this did arrive Thursday morning. So from Tuesday morning ordering and then arrived on Thursday morning, that's pretty quick. That's pretty much in line with Lazada's speed, and I was able to pay cash on delivery and no problems. And the packaging is actually better than Lazada. So when you order from Lazada, most of the time you just get one of these bags. They put your item in there. If you're lucky, they put some bubble wrap around it and that's it. But with itruemart, they use these cardboard boxes, and this was really well wrapped in bubble wrap, and then that all goes inside this plastic bag. So really the packaging is you know, it just cannot be beaten compared to Insogo and Lazada. So enough about that, let's actually take a look at the power bank. Now this power bank is from Vorson. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but that's how I'm going to pronounce it. It's meant to be a 10,000 milliamp hour battery. It costs 589 peso on their site, but I used a 100 peso voucher, so I just paid 489, and that includes free delivery. So let's open this thing up and take a look. Now I've already taken a look at this earlier and I immediately spotted a problem as soon as I took it out of the box. In the advert it says it has an output of 2.1 amp, an output of 1 amp and then an input of 2 amp, so pretty standard affair. But then when I looked at the back of the power bank, now the writing is very faint on here, so it's hard to show on camera, but basically the input is just 5 volts, 1 amp. So I immediately went on their live chat and said, hey, there's a problem with this, because that's a good thing about them. They're not so big at the moment, so they're very good on customer service because there aren't that many customers to really attend to. So I went on the live chat and I said to them, hey, there's a problem with this. It's meant to be a 2 amp input and it's just a 1 amp. And they didn't really understand the problem. For anyone that doesn't know, when you're charging a power bank, it takes a long time, and if you can only charge it at 1 amp instead of 2 amp, that's half the speed, which means this thing is going to take twice as long to charge as what you'd expect. So for someone who's impatient, that's a big problem, because this power bank is going to take way too long to charge. So their response was, okay, we're going to look into it and then we'll come back to you. And a few hours later they emailed me and said, don't worry about it, we've spoken to the manufacturer and they say that everything that's written in the advert is correct, you've got nothing to worry about, so enjoy your power bank. I was like, okay, you clearly don't understand what the problem is here. So I sent them a picture of the advert on the website which shows 2 amp, and I sent them a picture of the back of this and I said, it's not okay. Like, you know, maybe you've misunderstood, like, you know, lost in translation or something. It's not okay. So then they phoned me, I don't know, I think an hour or two later, and they gave me a return code. So I can return this. The only downside is that because I paid cash on delivery, the only way they can give me the money back is through bank deposit into my account or some kind of remittance thing. They can't give me like a store credit, which would be a lot easier, and that's what Lazada can do for you. They can give you a store credit. So kind of annoying, and the lady on the phone was telling me about their returns process. Like, it's got to go to this person, then this person, and finance have got to check it, and this person's got to check it. It sounds like it's going to take a long time, but I don't know. So check the video description down below. I think, you know, so far my experience has been okay, and I don't blame them necessarily. I mean, it's kind of their fault because they should check the specs, but I don't really blame them. It's still an okay product. It's just that I've got so many power banks that I'm not willing to settle for something that isn't as good as I thought it is. So yeah, that's why I'm sending it back for a refund. So let's do a little charging test. I have my Anchor charger here. This thing is capable of pushing up to 18 watts, so it's an absolutely high-end charger. Let's plug in the supplied cable to the watt meter, and then the watt meter to my charger. And then I'll zoom in on the watt meter to see how fast it's charging. So you can see here, 5.1 volts, just under 1 amp, 5.11 watts. So it really is charging at just 1 amp instead of the 2 amp that was advertised. Now that the power bank's fully charged, I'm going to run it through my watt meter with a constant 1 amp load, a 5 watt load. This will simulate charging a cell phone, and we'll see if we can really get 10,000 milliamp hour out of this battery, or if it's just a made up rating like it is on many other generic power banks. So if I zoom in on my power bank, I'll show you what we're logging here. You can see we've got voltage 4.82 volts, just under 1 amp, consuming 4.5 watts, and so far we've got out 3 milliamp hour. So we've got a long way to go to get that rating of 10,000 milliamp hour. So it's been running for around an hour and a half, and things are not looking very good. If we use the milliamp hour calculator here, you can see 10,000 milliamp hour at 3.7 volts should give us 37 watt hours. Now this is already showing 2 LEDs, which suggests it's down to 50%. And if I zoom in on the watt meter, you can see we've only pulled out so far 7.3 watt hours. So that's a long way away from 37 watt hours. So yeah, an hour and a half, a 1 amp load, and we've already consumed half of the battery. So I'm guessing this is actually going to end up being like, I don't know, maybe 4,000 or 5,000 milliamp hour or less. So let's continue to let this run and see what we get out of it. So the power bank has stopped outputting power. Let's zoom in on the watt meter and have a look at what we actually managed to get. So you can see that it ran for around 5.5 hours, and we managed to pull out 26.5 watt hours. So let's write that down and then compare it to what we were actually expecting to get. Now, although I worked out 37 watt hours by taking 10,000 milliamp hour and using the internal voltage of 3.7 volts, it also says it on the packaging here. So let me show you. So you can see it's rated at 10,000 milliamp hour or 37 watt hours. Now we certainly didn't get 37 watt hours, we only got 26, but as a percentage that works out to around 71.6%. So it's not the worst I've seen, but it's not the best either. This 10,000 milliamp hour battery from CDR King allowed us to pull out 9,000 milliamp hour, which was 90%, and 10% is pretty much a normal loss when you're pulling power out of a battery like this, because it has to increase the voltage for USB. Then there's this one from Insogo. It's meant to be a 30,000 milliamp hour battery, and we actually just got 6,600, which was 22%. So at 71%, it's not the worst battery ever, but it's also not the best, and I don't think you could call this a genuine 10,000 milliamp hour battery. So that pretty much sums up this Vorson power bank. It wasn't exactly as advertised. The capacity is a little bit under what it's advertised, and one thing that I didn't show you in testing is there is voltage drop. As this becomes depleted, instead of outputting 5 volts that's normal USB, I saw it go as low as 4.5. Now a little bit of drop, say 4.9, 4.8 is normal, but all the way down to 4.5, definitely something wrong there. So I would not recommend buying one of these, but it's kind of okay, like it's barely acceptable. As for itruemart, okay, this order didn't go perfectly because of this power bank, you know, not exactly what I expected, but the experience itself was okay. I ordered online, it arrived a couple of days later, I was able to pay with cash on delivery, so I would try them again. Like I said, I will keep the video description down below updated with how well my return goes, because if they don't handle that very well, maybe I'm not going to say good things about them. You know, I'd have to warn other people, but I think it will go okay, because they seem very like customer orientated, like customer service orientated, because you know there's big competition here in the Philippines, and if they want to make a name for themselves, they've got to keep customers happy. And I'll also put in the video description as to whether they update their advert for this to put the true stats there, because anyone else buying this should also know the truth. And if you bought from itruemart, put a comment down below, let me know what you bought and how your experience went, because I am curious to hear from other people. And if you enjoyed this video, please give a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks for watching.